Good morning. How is everybody today? It's Tuesday, July 7th, and this is Daily Devotional. So please hit like and subscribe on my YouTube channel and join me over at Instagram. I cross post pretty frequently. Today's theme, the darker the night, the brighter the stars. So I go over this fairly frequently about how the trials and tribulations that we go through seem really dark, and they seem insurmountable, and they seem very lonely and very, very hard to get through. And something that I like to reinforce is that we are spiritual beings stuck in this physical existence, and it's not permanent. It seems finite. It seems permanent. It seems very much like if you can't see it, feel it, hear it, taste it, smell it, it's not there. And that's part of the restrictions of being a spiritual being in this physical manifestation. That's the nature of the existence in which we choose to live on Mother Earth. And the darkness helps you appreciate the light. So the adage, the darker the night, the brighter the stars, is very much an analogy to the darker the times in your life, the brighter the good seems to be. And it helps us appreciate when good things come our way. And it helps us appreciate and have that grace and compassion and light and love for other people, because we too have experienced negative things that have come into our lives. So I often use my own personal experiences as bouncing blocks for connection to other people. Not because I'm trying to push my agenda or my story. My story is minute. My story doesn't matter. My story is not the beginning and end all of everybody else's story, but it does help me relate. I have had bad times. I've lived in my car. I've been homeless. I've had great jobs and terrible jobs. I've worked for wonderful bosses and terrible bosses. I've been pretty well off financially and not so well off to the point of homelessness. So my own journey has been these extremes that have given me some reference points when I work with people. But also because I see life patterns, I can see such a large not divergence, but a large plethora of choices in people's blueprints and lives. And it's important to know that no matter how dark it gets, there is always a bright star in the sky. There's always something you can take from every experience that helps you overcome and thrive and be that light person who is out in the universe and giving back to the universe. You can do this no matter how dark it is. There is a bright star in the sky. Okay, so today's daily devotional is coming from the Celtic devotional. Oh, of course, because it's my favorite Celtic devotional. I'm going to read the Tuesday evening one because I like that one. In the busy tracks of the world, I remember all whose energy is burned out and extinguished by overwork. May they receive the gifts of rest and recreation so that they may once more be able to respect the powers and limitations of their being. I give thanks for the 9 interweaving threads of life that have surrounded me this day. May my whole being be infused with the strength and sureness of the growing year. May political prisoners and those imprisoned because of their courageous championing of the innocent and disempowered be strengthened and enheartened by the presence of the holy ones. I love that. I remember all those whose energy is burned out and extinguished by overwork. You know, I've talked about it before, but I recently had a pretty big change in my life. And I went from a frenetic 40-hour-a-week job where I probably, in honesty, would put more than 40 hours in, but it was only paid for 40 or less. And I devoted a lot of time and energy, and I was overworked, and I was burning out at both ends. And I had to come to a place where there's a crossroads in your life where you have to start looking at what is your dream? What is it that you want to do? And what is in your way for making that happen? And 2 things. One, I needed to have the time to self-reflect and learn to trust myself again. And where I was at, though it was a healing place in many ways, I needed that last little bit of healing to be done with the self. And that needs to be an independent thing. I also needed time to heal. I am a sensitive individual. I know that. I'm energy sensitive. I'm emotionally sensitive. I'm very sensitive on many levels. And I give and give and give until my candles are almost out. And that's not a healthy place to be. And I needed to create new boundaries. And creating new boundaries sometimes means changing things. And this prayer of remembering those whose energy is burned out or extinguished. I had almost extinguished my own flame. And that's a terrible thing to do. So I had to make a choice. And I made that choice, and I've been revitalizing my energy by getting outside every day, getting back to daily devotions, writing every day, creating, working in my studio. My studio is behind me, you see it, and being in a place where I can be creative again. So get outside, disconnect from the internet, the electronics, really take some time and energize yourself. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow in prayer. Blessed be.